You know, you keep using the word "we" when you talk about the Broncos. Are you aware of that?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I'm going to ask you about that. You brought up Favre, so I'm going to ask you about a specific play. Think about it for a moment. Fourth down play with two defensive backs hurt in a game in San Diego. I want to ask you about what the call was on that fourth down play when Steve Atwater's out of the game. There's a term bomb blitz that I would, if that's familiar with you. But in baseball, when you go into Hall of Fame, you have to choose a team. You belong in the Hall of Fame, and I'll follow that up with the question specifically. But if you go into the Hall of Fame, you don't have to choose a team because guys played for 4 or 5 teams. But who do you consider, if you had to choose a team to go into the Hall of Fame, of the great teams you played for in San Francisco, in Philadelphia?
2 rings in San Francisco, 2 rings in Denver.
Yeah,
I would
is your
go in
team?
as a Bronco. I really would. My best football was played here. And the best teams I ever played with, as great as the teams were in San Francisco, we had great talent and great coaching. We had a great team here. And that really is the difference. And we had the greatest fans. It was a culmination of so many things coming together, as one. And this is a place where I really do believe that my career, took off to another level.
Yeah. And you were. Why do you think you don't get into the Hall of Fame? And I was on the committee for years, and I thought, man, if I were still on the committee, I'd be pushing for you. Do you think it was because of perceived dirty play?
I think, I came out and, I admitted to things I took. I was like, okay, let me just tell people things that I took.
Let me open my briefcase.
Yeah.
But you weren't alone.
No, I wasn't alone.
You were just one of the few who admitted to it.
Yeah, I just said, this is what I took. I never was suspended once when I played in the NFL, okay? There have been, a number of guys who have gotten suspended, and some of them are broadcasting nationally and stuff like that. But, I think that will probably, maybe another 10 years and
when
maybe
the senior
we'll come
committee
around. Maybe.
Because I think genuinely, I think I'm not saying it because you're here. I would say it if you weren't. You're genuinely a Hall of Famer. Steve Atwater's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You know that. You played alongside
Absolutely.
him. Carl Mecklenburger was a Hall of Famer. Tom Nalen is a Hall of Famer. Rod Smith. We can talk about the guys, but I looked at that team, but there's no the great 1997. There's 7 guys who played in that game that are in the Hall of Fame for the Broncos on the offensive side. Nobody from the defensive side. That defense really didn't get the credit it deserved. I assume you think that's a fair statement.
I think that's fair. And in San Francisco, when we were winning the way we won, it was Steve Young and Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and John Taylor and Brent Jones seemed to get
Roger
a
Craig.
lot. Roger Craig.
Tom Rathman.
Tom Rathman got a lot of the accolades where, the defense was kind of, other than, the Ronnie Lotts of the world, they were kind of overshadowed by our great offense. And I think that's the case here.
When you go to buy a car, what do you really want? You probably want a lot of cars to choose from. And you want the dealership's best price. Not some starting price or target price, the best price. And you want it immediately, not after hours of negotiating. And you want a salesperson who doesn't get paid more if you spend more. Because, well, you don't want to spend more. Well, you're in luck. John Elway wants all of those things too. Better yet, John Elway wants you to have all of those things too. Come see us or click on johnelwaychevrolet.com.